Hey, welcome! Today, we're diving into something truly incredible. We're going to unpack one of history's most fascinating prophecies, a dream an ancient king had that actually charts the rise and fall of world empires, all captured in the image of a single massive statue.
I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a blockbuster movie, right? But seriously, could a dream, one that was completely forgotten, actually hold the key to the future of global superpowers?
Well, for King Nebuchadnezzar, the most powerful ruler on earth at the time, this wasn't just some philosophical question. He had an absolutely terrifying dream, woke up, and it was gone. He couldn't remember a thing. So he gives all his mystics and wise men a deadly ultimatum. Tell me the dream and its meaning, or you're all dead. Yeah, the stakes could not have been higher. So, into this massive crisis steps the prophet Daniel, and he reveals that the God of heaven hasn't just given him the dream's world-changing interpretation, he's given him the forgotten dream itself. So, Daniel starts to describe the vision to the king. He talks about this colossal statue shining with a blinding brightness, but then he adds this one chilling detail. Its form was terrible. Now, hold on, because that word probably doesn't mean what you think it does. The original Aramaic word used here is dehil. This doesn't mean it was evil or monstrous. It means it was awe-inspiring, fearsome, and overwhelmingly powerful. The statue's form was dreadful because the power and carnage these empires would unleash on the world was just that, dreadful. Okay, let's break this incredible image down, from top to bottom. The head was pure gold, the chest and arms were silver, its belly and thighs were made of brass, and its legs were just solid iron. But the feet? The feet were this strange, unstable mix of iron and clay. Now notice this pattern. As we move down a statue, the metals get stronger, but they also get less valuable. And that is a huge clue to what it all means. And this is where Daniel reveals the dream's true meaning. This isn't just a random weird stature. It's a timeline of history. Each one of those metals represents a world empire, destined to rise and then fall, one after the other. And here is the big reveal, a stunningly accurate prophecy. Daniel looks at the most powerful man on earth and says, "You, O king, are this head of gold." He's identifying the Babylonian Empire. But, he says, it won't last. It'll be followed by the Silver Kingdom of Medo-Persia, then the Bronze Kingdom of Greece, and after that, the brutally strong Iron Kingdom of Rome. And finally, those feet of iron and clay, they represent the divided kingdoms that would emerge from Rome's collapse, and in many ways, continue to this day. You know, what's really fascinating is that the Bible gives us two totally different perspectives on these same empires. Nebuchadnezzar's dream, the human view, sees them as this glorious, majestic statue. But later, in Daniel chapter 7, the prophet gets his own vision, God's view, which shows these same world powers as violent, predatory beasts rising from a chaotic sea. And this just illustrates the contrast so brilliantly. The glorious head of gold, Babylon, is also a lion with eagle's wings. The silver, Medo-Persian Empire is a devouring bear. Greece is a swift leopard, and the iron-legged Roman Empire is an unnamed, terrible beast with iron teeth. Man sees the glory, God sees the brutal nature of worldly power. But the dream doesn't end there. After this long line of human kingdoms, the vision takes a really dramatic turn. This entire monument to human power is about to meet a sudden and catastrophic end. The king sees a stone, but it's unlike any other. The vision says it was cut out without hands. This stone comes flying through the air and smashes the statue right on its fragile feet, and the impact is total. The entire image, the gold, the silver, the iron, it all just disintegrates into dust and vanishes as if it had never even been there.
So what is this stone? Well, the clue is in its origin. Being cut without hands means it isn't man-made. It's divine. This stone represents the kingdom of God. And notice, it doesn't just replace the last empire, it utterly destroys the entire legacy of human rule. And then, something incredible happens. The stone grows into a great mountain that fills the whole earth, a symbol of an eternal kingdom that will never, ever be destroyed.
Now you can imagine, the effect of this revelation on King Nebuchadnezzar was immediate and profound. This wasn't just an interesting story. For him, this was a message delivered directly from the heavens. The king's reaction was singular and absolute. He was so overwhelmed that he fell on his face and worshiped Daniel, not as a god, but as the messenger of the one true God. He declared, "Of a truth it is, that your God is a God of gods, and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets."
Following this, the king promoted Daniel to a position of immense power, making him ruler over the entire province of Babylon. But Daniel, ever humble, requested that his 3 friends, you know them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, be put in charge of the affairs of the province, while he remained an advisor in the king's court.
Daniel concludes his whole interpretation with this powerful statement of certainty. He assures the king that this isn't speculation. The great God has revealed what will happen in the future, and both the dream itself and its meaning are absolutely sure.
And that leaves us with a final, thought-provoking question. The dream shows us this parade of the world's greatest empires, all destined to crumble and be blown away like dust. It really forces us to ask ourselves, if the gold, the silver, the iron, all these symbols of human power are ultimately temporary, what is truly built to last forever?